Welcome, travel enthusiasts, scenic explorer. Did you know that in 2024, there are still places where Americans are unwelcome? If you're planning your next international adventure, you might want to think twice before booking a flight to these destinations. In this video, we're counting down the 10 countries where Americans are not welcome in 2024. Ready to uncover these important travel insights? Number 10. Belarus. Belarus, a country with a complex political landscape, poses significant challenges for American travelers. The strained relations between the U.S. and Belarus, especially after the 2020 presidential elections, have led to heightened travel advisories and restrictions. Americans are advised against traveling to Belarus due to the authoritarian government's actions, including crackdowns on protests, and the suppression of dissent. Visa requirements for Belarus are stringent. Citizens must obtain a visa before entering the country, which involves submitting an application to a Belarusian embassy. The process is not straightforward and can be time-consuming. Moreover, Belarus does not offer an online visa application system, making it more cumbersome compared to other destinations. For those who manage to obtain a visa, traveling within Belarus comes with its own set of rules. Visitors are required to register with the local authorities within 3 days of their arrival. Failure to do so can result in fines or difficulties when exiting the country. This registration process is typically handled by the hotel or the host where the visitor is staying. Despite these challenges, Belarus offers unique attractions for the intrepid traveler. Minsk, the capital city, boasts impressive Soviet-era architecture, while the Mir Castle complex and the Belovezhskaya Pushcha National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, offer glimpses into the country's rich history and natural beauty. Number 9. Syria. The U.S. Department of State considers Syria to be a high-risk country because of terrorism, civil upheaval, kidnapping, and armed conflict. Syria-U.S. relations have been significantly strained since the start of the Syrian civil war in 2011. Feasible to obtain a visa through a drawn-out process, it is highly discouraged given the dramatic decline in tourism caused by the war. It takes a lot of work and time for an American to obtain a visa for Syria. Applications have to be submitted via the Syrian embassy in your home nation. You will need to apply through a third nation that has a functioning Syrian embassy, because the Syrian embassy in Washington ceased operations in 2014. This presents a hurdle for the U.S. It's important to be aware that any journey to Syria may have major ramifications for future travel. For example, a Syrian stamp on your passport may prevent you from entering other nations. It's important to remember that despite Syria's abundance of historical and cultural landmarks, such as the historic cities of Palmyra, Aleppo, and Damascus, there has been significant damage and destruction brought on by the ongoing conflict. A humanitarian catastrophe has arisen as a result of the severe circumstances, and the safety and security situation is quite unstable. For safety reasons, it is therefore strongly advised against traveling to Syria at this time. Number 8. Libya. Similar to Syria, Libya is off-limits to American travelers due to ongoing conflict. Because of crime, terrorism, kidnapping, and armed conflict, the U.S. Department of State strongly advises against traveling to Libya at any time. Libya-U.S. relations are severely strained as a result of the 2011 Libyan civil war, and the U.S. ambassador's murder during the Benghazi attack. Can be difficult for an American citizen to obtain a tourist visa for Libya. Although there are no longer any tourist visas available because of the political unrest, business permits will still be accepted for travel to Libya as of 2024. Valid passport, filled out application forms, application fee, passport-size pictures, and an official letter of invitation from a Libyan-based company are normally required for the filing of a business visa application. It is highly recommended that you register your travel plans with the U.S. Embassy through the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program if you decide to go to Libya despite the hazards. Number 7. Venezuela. Venezuela, a South American country known for its breathtaking natural beauty that stretches from the Andes Mountains to the Caribbean shoreline, rounds out our list. Regretfully, Venezuela has struggled with political instability and economic collapse for the past few years. The U.S. Department of State warns against traveling to Venezuela at all because of the current crisis, which includes crime, civil unrest, inadequate health care, kidnapping, and the arbitrary arrest and imprisonment of U.S. citizens. You will require a visa if you are an American citizen in order to enter Venezuela, but getting one can be difficult because there are no Venezuelan embassies or consulates in the U.S. as a result of the two nations' 2019 diplomatic relations breaking off. Applications for visas must be submitted through a Venezuelan embassy in a third nation and call for the following documents: a valid passport, filled out application form. Passport-sized PC. Venezuela is a perilous place for tourists to visit due to its current political and economic unrest. Despite having many attractions, such as the world's tallest waterfall, Angel Falls, and the Los Roques Archipelago, a national park renowned for its immaculate beaches and coral reefs. Number 6. Saudi Arabia. Visa regulations. Saudi Arabia used to be a difficult destination for American travelers to visit. The nation, which is ruled by strict Islamic law, has historically only granted visas to citizens' families, business travelers, and Hajj pilgrims. As part of its Vision 2030 initiative, Saudi Arabia did, however, introduce a new tourist visa in 2019 in an effort to draw in foreign tourists and diversify its economy away from oil. Saudi Arabia now permits Americans to apply online for a tourist visa, which is a significant departure from its previous tight restrictions. The e-visa application procedure is comparatively simple and speedy. Candidates must pay a fee, submit a passport-size photo, and complete an online form. The one-year visa allows for multiple entries. Women over 25 permitted to visit Saudi Arabia alone, but women under 25 must travel with a family member. Women are still encouraged to dress modestly, even though the government has relaxed the previously rigorous dress rule. 5 World Heritage Sites can be found in Saudi Arabia, ranging from the ancient city of Diriyah to the rock art of the Hale region. While exploring, keep in mind that some locations might not be accessible to non-Muslims, and always abide by the customs of the locals about decency. Number 5. Russia. Russia, the largest country in the world, known for its rich history, cultural heritage, and diverse landscapes, has become a highly restricted destination for American tourists due to recent geopolitical tensions. The U.S. Department of State has issued a do not travel advisory for Russia due to several significant risks, including terrorism, harassment by Russian government security officials, the arbitrary enforcement of local law, and the unprovoked and unjustified invasion of Ukraine. American citizens planning to visit Russia face numerous challenges. Visa requirements are stringent and often involve a complex application process. A standard tourist visa application requires a valid passport, a completed application form, a recent passport-sized photograph, proof of travel arrangements, and an invitation letter from a Russian host or hotel. In light of the ongoing conflict with Ukraine, flights between the US and Russia have been severely limited, further complicating travel plans. Despite the warnings, are advised to draft a detailed travel itinerary, register their travel plans with the US Embassy, and maintain a high level of situational awareness at all times. While Russia boasts an array of attractions such as the historic Red Square and the Hermitage Museum, and natural wonders like Lake Baikal, the current political and security climate makes it a precarious destination for American travelers. Given the risks, it's advisable to reconsider any travel plans to Russia and stay updated with the latest travel advisories from official sources such as the U.S. Department of State. Number 4. Cuba. Restrictions still exist, even if US-Cuban ties have somewhat improved over time. Known locally as El Bloqueo, is a remnant of the Cold War that prohibits American visitors from traveling there only for pleasure. Americans may still travel, though, if they fall into one of the 12 approved categories. These consist: visiting family, working as a journalist, conducting professional research, engaging in religious activities, attending public events or competitions, and perhaps most frequently providing assistance to the Cuban people. Travelers falling into this final category must commit to a full-time program of events that uplift and advance Cuban civil society and its citizens. Staying at a casa especial, private home, dining at paladares, private restaurants, buying at private markets, and conversing with locals about their way of life are some examples of activities. After deciding which trip category applies to you, you must get a tourist visa or card for Cuba. When they purchase a ticket to Cuba, most travelers can obtain the tourist card directly from their airline. For travelers arriving directly from the US, the card is pink. For those arriving from other nations, it is green. While some airlines demand a separate purchase, others include the cost of the card in the ticket price. Number 3. Bhutan. Let's move on to the peaceful Himalayan nation of Bhutan, where the reason for the challenge of visiting is not political, but rather the result of their distinct travel regulations. Bhutan only allows a small number of visitors annually in order to preserve its nature and culture, and American visitors must pay a daily charge ranging from $200 to $250. This policy, dubbed high value, low impact, is an inventive attempt to support environmentally friendly travel. Although this charge may appear high at first, it's crucial to know what's included. The cost includes lodging in 3-star hotels, all meals, transportation inside Bhutan, a licensed tour guide, camping gear for hikers, and a sustainable tourism royalty that funds free healthcare, education, and infrastructure development in Bhutan. In essence, it's a comprehensive package that directly advances national well-being. Number 2. Iran. Iran is the next destination, a nation full of ancient landmarks and kind people, but one that presents many diplomatic challenges for Americans. Relationship tensions between the two countries increased after the Iranian Revolution of 1979, when the US imposed severe sanctions on Iran due to nuclear disagreements. Iran travel is feasible, but you'll have to arrange for a guided trip and go through a drawn-out visa application process. Examining the complexities of visiting Iran as an American, the voyage starts before you ever arrive. There is no simple route to take to get there. US nationals are not permitted to travel independently in Iran. All travel must be a part of a scheduled trip guided by a government-approved guide. A thorough itinerary outlining your time in Iran will be supplied by your tour operator. Not only is this itinerary necessary for your visa application, but it also needs to be adhered to rigidly, leaving little time for impromptu exploration. From broad cultural experiences to more specialized pursuits like culinary or adventure trips, guided tours can cover a wide range of topics. Number 1. North Korea. North Korea, formerly known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, DPRK, is at the top of the list. A select group of adventurous people were able to travel to North Korea on guided tours before 2017 by taking direct flights from Beijing or crossing the Yalu River by train from Dandong, the Chinese border city. Travel limitations were mostly caused by North Korea's isolationist posture, which was the outcome of a political theory known as Juche, and persistent tensions with the United States. However, North Korea is currently the most difficult country for Americans to visit. The tragic and enlightening story of Otto Warmbier, a young American who personally suffered from the harsh effects of this country's inflexible political system, served as the impetus for the current visa ban. In late 2015, Warmbier, a student at the University of Virginia, traveled to North Korea as part of a guided tour. He was detained at Pyongyang International Airport in the early months of 2016 when he tried to leave. Warmbia's attempt to take a propaganda poster from his hotel was supposedly a hostile act against the state, according to the North Korean administration. Following a 1-hour trial, Warmbia received a 15-year term of hard labor. Americans who want to visit North Korea now need to apply for a special validation passport from the U.S. Department of State. These passports are only given out in extremely limited situations, like for journalists covering the country or aid workers. We hope this exploration of the top 10 countries where Americans face travel challenges has provided valuable insights and inspired your future travel plans. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts on the countries discussed in the comments below, and subscribe to Scenic Explorer for more travel content. Until next time, keep exploring and safe travels.